Welcome back to the Decent Garage and welcome to my dream shop build. So if you've been following along on this series, Building My Dream Shop, you know we have put in a lot of work. If you haven't seen those videos, make sure to go back and watch them. But most recently, we wired the whole shop, we got all our lighting in, and we installed our 12,000 pound 2-post lift. In today's video, we're gonna be doing a lot more to the shop, but the first thing we're gonna tackle is some more lighting. So we've got a couple different lights that I want to install. The first ones are kind of decorative that are gonna go above each of the 3 bays. So I'll show you those in just a minute. The second kind we're gonna do is gonna be about right here on both sides of the main bay. And those are gonna be more work lights. So we can flip them on and have light outside the shop if we wanna work outside the shop. And then around to where the man doors are gonna be, I want some lights that are motion activated right outside the man door, so if you're ever coming out at night, you can just walk up and the light will turn on so you can see to get into the door and get inside the shop. So these are kind of the decorative lights that I'm gonna put above the center of each bay. I got these actually at Costco. They were a great price, so these shouldn't be too hard to install. Now the other lights, the work lights and outside the man door, I got with Hyperlight again, and they're the ones I worked with to do all the lighting inside the shop. So I'll show you those lights after we get these installed. So here's the mounts for these lights that we're gonna put over the bays. Now just to show you what we're gonna do, these do fit perfectly right in between the ribs, but I want it to look a little bit more decorative, a little more aesthetic. So what I did, I got this 2x10, and what we're gonna do is cut a piece and have that be right here and mount our light right to that, so we can stain that or paint it whatever color we want. It'll push the light out just a little bit away from the ribs of the shop, and I think it will look really, really good. So the first thing we need is my trusty skill saw. Get our piece of wood. I ran into a little issue with the lights right above the doors. The ribs and the panels are not quite right. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So this bay is perfect. There's a gap between the 2 ribs right where I want the light. Same with that bay. Let me show you this bay. I don't know why it's not consistent, but it's not. There's a rib right here, but the other rib is way down behind this rain gutter. So I want the light to sit kind of right here, but that rib's in the way. So if I put my board up here, you can see we're up against the rib. So here's what I've done. I got one of my boards, put my blade at an angle, cut a bunch of lines in it. I have to break those out, probably cut a few more lines, but that's gonna sit up with the rib right inside it, and that'll put it at the perfect height for the light. Well, my dad and my brother are really good woodworkers. I don't say that about myself, but we got it cut out, and there we go. It'll sit flush right up there above that left side bay. It's gonna be perfect. Well, I think I pulled this off pretty well. So went through, sanded the top side, rounded off the edges. I cut a bevel onto the edge as well. That's gonna look pretty good, I think. I don't know, what do you think? And then I also went back and redid this piece. The groove was too deep, so I cut one that wasn't quite as deep, and it fits perfect. Well, here's the original design, but I actually changed the design, so this is gonna go up there like that. But that would make the light base plate sit like this, which is okay, but doesn't look great. So I redid them, made them this way so they mimic the shape of the base plate, and I got the jigsaw cut out for the boxes. Got to clean up, sand them a little bit more, but I'm going to hang the boxes right now. That way those are hung up, and we can clean these up and then start running the wire for them. Okay, look at this. Got one hanging up there, got one over there hanging up. Just test fit, they're not wired in. And then I've got the last box right here to go over the center bay. So I'm ready to wire those in, and then I'll bring the big ladder and get the center one in. But I think they look really cool. Got dark pretty quick, but I pulled everything off. And what I'm gonna do is stain these. I haven't decided the color, so you will see once I decide. but I want them to look nice, and then we can mount them up and get them wired in. So now in the light we can see the color. I think it turned out really good. So we've got all three of them hung up there, over here. So I need to pop the wires through the boxes, wire them up, mount them up. But before we get to that, real quick change of plans. I was on Marketplace and found something that can go right here that I think will work perfect for that. So I've got the trailer loaded up to my wife's Suburban because we have something we need to fix on the Fat and Sassy. So we're gonna take the bumper pull with my wife's Suburban and see if we can't pick this roll-up door that's a couple hours away, but it's worth it for the price. So let's see what we can find out. And just my luck, we've got a flat on the trailer. Something went through it, little nail. Got it swapped. We are good to go. We do not have a spare, but we're gonna test our luck and see if we can make it all the way there and back. Cross your fingers. Not a good idea, but we're gonna try it. We just got it loaded up. Here it is. We'll take a better look once we can get it home, but it's a nice door. I'll throw the brand on the screen, but it's actually a pretty good company. I looked it up because he sent me the picture of it. The only damage is these sheets, which are kind of a casing that goes around where it rolls up into. So not really even necessary, but it's insulated. It's got the tracks, it's got the roller, it's got the two end pieces. It does not have the motor or the chain hoist thing, but for 500 bucks, couldn't pass it up. And so I think what we can do is drill out some of these rivets and take 2 feet off of this, because this is 12 feet wide, which is perfect, but it's 16 feet tall and I need 14 feet. So we'll see what we can do. If not, we just won't lower it down 16 feet. We'll lower it down 14 feet. So I'm gonna get it strapped down and we'll hit the road. Let's get back home and finish installing the exterior lights. Now that we've got those installed and checked off the list, we have to install a light right here and right here, and these are going to be bright work lights. So if I'm working outside the shop at night, I can turn those on and have all this space illuminated. So here's what I got for that. I got with Hyperlight, and so they sent me 2 of these 120 watt lights and then 2 of these 50 watt lights, and these 50 watt lights are gonna go outside the man door, and they're gonna be motion censored. So man door's right here. So they'll go just above the man door. They'll turn on when motion is sensed. But the 120 watt ones are gonna go here on the outside of the shop. And my idea is to do exactly what we did with these other lights and use, this is actually a 2x12, cut a backing plate for all of them, stain it, and put it on up there. So let's get that installed and see how bright that is. Well, I was in the middle of getting our outdoor work lights put up, and we got hit by some rain. As you can see, it's getting in here, kind of blowing. Good thing is I've got these doors down. It's not coming in underneath at all. Let's go check the other side. There's a little coming through there because the latch for this door is on this side and there's not a latch on that side, so that side tends to come up just a little bit. But I'm getting some electronic openers for these, and that should solve that. But we need our main bay door on sooner rather than later. So to hang these lights up, it's pretty straightforward. This is a reflective piece that's inside the light. It's got a I don't think it's a ground strap. I think it's actually a catch if it were to fall or something. So it catches it. And the cover piece goes on these two hinges. And then there's two screws over here that you have to take out. So you do that first, take that out, then take that reflective piece off. And then we've got what we need to get. So all the wiring's here. There's a bunch of different knockouts, I guess, but you actually screw them out, and they've got O-rings in them, so they're sealed. So we're just gonna run this very middle one. And then it's got a pattern for whether you have a 3 to 4 inch box you're gonna use or a 4-inch box, and then the different holes, so you have to drill those out. So I'm gonna drill out the holes we need, and then we can mount this up there, get the other one mounted, and then run our wiring, and we'll just have to connect the wiring, and it should be good to go. All right, there we go. Mounted up, just have to run the wiring to it. It's solid up there. We just have to go over and mount that one up. The wiring is all hooked up. All we have left to do is to flip the switch and hope that they come on, so let's try it. You guys are gonna see it before me, no fair. Oh yeah. So now let's let it get a little bit darker, and then we'll get a full view of it in the dark and see how bright these are. All right, the sun has set. I switched these lights so that they have a sensor on them, so I can leave it on and they'll turn on when it gets dark. So that is nice feature. So here we go. See how bright this is. Woo-wee. Yeah, that really lights it up well. So the ambient ones light it up pretty good, better than I actually thought they would, but just not good enough to be working out here. And especially what I'm thinking is this winter when I have to plow on the four-wheeler, things like that, it'll be nice to flip those on and be able to see. But man, they are bright. I would call that a success. Before we get to the garage door, there's one thing I want to do. Let me explain. So you saw in the video where we ran the electrical in the shop, we put 4 100-watt Hyperlight high bay lights in each of the lean-to sections of the shop. So over there and over here. Then in the main bay, I put 4 150-watt lights, one here, one over here, and one there. So 4 up there, and I'm not quite satisfied with the brightness. So I bought 2 more 100-watt lights, and we're gonna hang them kind of in between those ones. Should be a pretty easy install. I'm just gonna have to tap into the last box, run some wire over here, run some wire across, wire them in, and that should do it. Also, I lowered the lights. They're hanging down about 3 feet. I was thinking that might help the brightness down below here. It did not. I think it made it worse, so I'm gonna raise the lights up to where they're almost up to the top too. So then we'll have 6 lights. It'll be 150-watt lights in the corners, and then in the middle it'll be 100-watt lights. And that should make it much better here in the middle bay, because the 2 side bays are perfect. Great light all through the whole bay. It's awesome. Okay guys, it is dark out. I actually wired something wrong. It took me a couple hours to figure it out, but it kept shorting the breaker out when I try and flip it on. Finally figured it out. So Let's see what it's like. I'll show you guys. So I'm going to turn these ones off. Oh, look how dark it is. Boom. Way better, way better. So before it almost felt like these spots over here were just dark spots. All right, we can cross that off the list. Hyperlite high bay lights. There we have it. We got our lights put up on the shop. Again, we got 2 work lights and then we got 3 lights that look really nice, just lighting up the door. Really nice look. We did not get the main bay door installed today. We ran out of time, but we are gonna get to that because it is starting to get chilly here and we need the shop to be completely enclosed. That'll be fun to get that installed, but the shop is coming along. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about the shop? How do you like the lights? Would you have done anything different? Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you're enjoying this project. We'll see you guys in the next one.